Is your toddler a tiny word wizard? Do they memorize songs after hearing them once? Pretend to read books? Love labels, signs, rhymes, or storytelling? You may be raising a word smart learner, or what Howard Gardner called linguistic intelligence. Some toddlers don't just play with toys. They play with language. They notice sounds, they repeat funny phrases, they remember names, they love books, songs, and storytelling. These are children who may show signs of being word smart learners. According to Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, word smart children have a strong sensitivity to spoken and written language. They often enjoy listening to stories, looking at books for long periods of time, singing songs and nursery rhymes, naming objects, asking lots of questions, pretend reading, playing with sounds and silly words, remembering names and routines, and creating stories during play. As they grow older, many word smart learners enjoy writing stories, poetry, journaling, acting, and public speaking. One thing that is especially fascinating about word smart learners is that many of them begin recognizing words much earlier than we once realized. Before children ever read books, they begin reading the world. They recognize logos, signs, labels, favorite food boxes, song lyrics. Research shows that children build stronger language connections when they hear words, see pictures, and connect them to real life experiences. That's why showing toddlers the word along with the picture can be so important for language development. Introducing Milo's brown color pocket, the Word Smart Pocket. Inside this pocket, children will find a picture of the Playtime with Milo book, and if the child indicates they want this activity, we take out the brown bag, which has the book, and the strategies card. The book is purposely written with rhyming and predictable language patterns because repetition and predictability help children feel successful, engaged, and confident while learning language. The story begins. What fun it will be to match and sort these bugs we see. The book then introduces all of the different colored pockets, the toys, and the activities the children will discover inside. The book itself becomes an interactive experience. When using Milo, children may choose to lift the pockets themselves to discover which activity they want to play with. Or the parent may begin with the book and watch closely to see which page or activity the child shows interest in. This creates a beautiful opportunity for language expansion and connection. For example, a parent might say, "You love coloring with crayons. Let's get at Milo's pictures and crayons." Now the child is connecting. Spoken language, written words, pictures, play, and emotional connection all together at the same time. One of the reasons play-based learning is so effective is because children learn best when they are emotionally connected and actively involved. Overall, Milo's book encourages storytelling, predicting, labeling, requesting, commenting, turn-taking, and imaginative language. Instead of feeling like therapy, learning feels like connection and play. If you think your toddler may be a word smart learner, here are some toys and activities they often naturally gravitate toward. Picture books, interactive books, alphabet puzzles, magnetic letters, puppets, boards, storytelling baskets, toy microphones, flashcards with pictures and words, and reusable coloring books, crayons, and drawing activities, like we find in Milo's brown bag. They also like rhyming games, sing-along activities, pretend play, sequencing cards, naming games, and so much more. These children often love when adults read together, create stories together, act silly with words, sing songs, ask open-ended questions, and make language playful. One of my strategies for toddlers who have trouble sitting for books is to read to them from across the room while they play with whatever they are interested in. I am going to choose a book I know they like and maybe even related to what they are playing with. Sometimes it just takes distance for a child to show interest in a book. When they are too close, They tend to want to manage and turn pages before we are even able to read what's on the page. So, with distance, they are watching and listening. And when they are closer, we can work on what we call book writing, writing. Being able to turn pages, it's actually a skill. One thing I always remind parents is this: you do not need expensive programs to support language learning. Connection is the most important teaching tool. When children feel seen, heard, loved, and engaged during play, language naturally grows. And when we understand how our children learn best, we can begin supporting their strengths in meaningful ways. I should remind everyone here that we all have access to all 8 different intelligences. Some just come more easily to certain people. When we find these strengths in ourselves and others, we use them to build areas that we want to grow. So, being word smart and loving to read can help build any other area of intelligence just by reading about it and understanding what's necessary for building that strength. Word smart learners teach us that language is more than just words. It is connection, imagination, storytelling, expression, creativity, and understanding. If you're finding that you are playing with a child that is a strong linguistic learner, you might want to expose that child to a library using different types of books depending on their interests, and maybe even challenge them with books that are different from their interests. Remember, by finding a child's strengths, we are able to ultimately use those strengths to increase areas of intelligence that we want to boost. When learning is built through play, joy, and connection, children thrive. Thank you for joining me for this Word Smart learning episode with Milo Bear. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow along as we continue exploring the many different ways children learn through play. And remember, communicate to love and love to communicate. Bye-bye for now.